Jim Whitley here at Eagles Nest in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. So I'm trying to get the word out, gather troops to pray in faith so that we can do our part. We have a vital role to play as believers in bringing Trump into his second term, which I believe absolutely is the Lord's best will for our nation. So I want to try to summarize real quickly the prophetic things that we've gotten from the Lord that have led us into this place of faith that he should be our president, really. So going all the way back prior to Trump's first term, about a month before he was elected, in early October 2016, my wife was awakened with a powerful dream, very prophetic dream, to send her into intercession for hours and hours. We sent that dream out. We sent it to a friend who has a very significant platform, and that dream really got some traction and got out there a lot. This is what she saw in that dream prior to his first election: that he would be elected, that he would be considered he would be the working man's president, that he was going to overcome significant corruption in government. She also saw that he would bring the church, he would bring believers, Christians, really close, like inner circle, to speak to him on personal level. At a personal level, she saw that the president himself would go through a redemptive process while in office, and very significantly, she saw that the nation itself, America, would go through a redemptive process also in a parallel scenario. As the president went through redemption, so would the nation. So fast forwarding a bit to this past summer, that storm, that hurricane, it wasn't much of a hurricane, it was a hurricane though. They called it Isaias or something like that. The root name is Isaiah. When that storm was down in the Caribbean, before it reached the States, the Lord told me, watch this storm. Where it goes will be a sign of a blessing. Where it goes will be a sign that I'm going to bless. So I watched this storm skirt Florida, never went into Florida. It didn't go into Georgia and South Carolina, but the effects did, and it went right up the eastern seaboard. Basically, what I saw was this: it touched the 13 colonies, the original 13 colonies of America, the founding of America. Went right through, I think it went right through Philadelphia area, which would be the birthplace of our nation, right? So I knew the Lord was speaking about the founding of our country and returning to the founding principles of our country. And that I knew that at the time, something about the Lord bringing a blessing. So this is what I got on that so far, that Isaiah was a major prophet, one of the major prophets of the Old Testament. He spoke at a national level, right? His words were at a national level, and they were so prophetic. They spoke of the future too. They spoke of Messiah coming years and years later, all of that. So he was a major prophet. So this is what I believe the Lord showed me there: the prophetic voice, collective prophetic voice. Prophets are to bring a blessing to America right now. They are part of bringing a blessing to America and an influence in the direction of our country. So I mean, Isaiah spoke to the leaders, to the kings of the time. I believe the prophetic voice in America is to speak to the kings, to the leaders, and to help direct the nation as a blessing for our nation. So moving forward to this election here, I was not of the personal mindset that widespread fraud could happen at a national level in a presidential election. I just wasn't thinking somebody could get away with it. But I was awakened from a dream that in a panic just a few days before the election, on October 30th. And in that dream, I saw votes being changed. I saw the voice of the people being altered. And I saw it happening in an incredibly deceptive way in what looked like a normal process, the normal voting process. But the fact of the matter is, our votes were being changed and altered. And that got me so alarmed. It felt so personal, which it is. Our votes are personal. One person votes. It's your voice. But in the dream, when I realized what was happening, when I awakened to the deception that was happening, I didn't have enough ability to stop it. They were still doing it right under my eyes. And I knew the only way this was going to stop was with serious high-level enforcement of our laws. It was the only way it was going to stop. So that's a prayer point right now. We need to pray for the enforcement of our laws concerning elections, in this case, concerning our election, the one that just happened. That the truth be known, that the deception be uncovered, and that things be brought to light. So a few days after the dream, after the election, I had another dream. I had this dream on November 8th. On November 8th, I was with President Trump in a dream, and there was a main feature. It was a giant pillar. It was a pillar of our democracy, and it needed repair. There were different people working on it. I was to work on it. Trump was going to work on it. And I had a brief moment of time with him, just one-to-one, and I encouraged him greatly that he had done a great job, that he was doing a great job, and he needed encouragement. I represent the church in this dream. He needs to hear from believers. He needs to hear from supporters. He needs to hear that we love him and we believe that God's put him in office to help save America. Now, then he wanted to know from me, are you going to do your job? Are you going to do what you need to do? Because it wasn't a one-man operation. He was going to go, in this dream, he was going to go to the ground level of the pillar. He was going to work on the foundation level of that pillar. The foundation is the pillar of democracy that we're talking about in this dream is the ability of the people to choose their leader. It's a foundation of democracy, is the ability of people's voice to choose their leaders. That's the pillar that I think needs to be repaired right now. I think that's what's at hand right now, as of this date, November 17th. So he wanted to know if I was going to do my job. My job was to go, while he went to the ground level, my job was to go to the third level on the top of the pillar, or near the top of the pillar, and work on that part of it. I assured him that I was going to do that, and he went down and I went up. The church is to go up, while Trump and the administration and others go to the courts and battle it out at the ground level, the trenches. We're to go to the court of heaven. We're to go to the place that we have greatest authority, which is in the Spirit, which is with our faith, which is what we've heard from the Lord. See, this is the way Mike Bickle puts it, that God signs the check, but he needs a co-signer on earth that it happens, that it manifests in the earth. He's designed it that way because he wants partnership with us. The Lord just doesn't do his will without us. He wants partnership with us. So the Lord is looking for co-signers of his will. Those that have heard his voice in whatever way he's spoken to you, that this election, there's some bad things going on with this election we just went through, and things need to be uncovered. And even if you believe, Trump might have actually won this thing, and you're feeling that, let's put our faith together. Let's believe that things be uncovered, that the deception be uncovered, that everything be seen plainly, and that the voice of the American people choose their president, because that's a pillar of our democracy that must be maintained right now. So our warfare, we are told by Paul in Ephesians 6:12, our warfare is not against flesh and blood, that's what he said, but it's against powers, principalities, spirits in high places. And he tells us to put on the armor of God and stand. Stand in faith, stand with the word. That's our warfare, is to stand and to pray without ceasing, to pray in the Spirit, to pray with the Spirit, to pray what he's shown us. We have a vital role to play, I believe, a vital role to play. Trump asked me, are you going to do your part? The Lord is asking us, are we going to do our part as believers? I think our part is vital to the success and the saving of America right now. So help me get this word out if you can. I want to elevate people's faith. There's a lot of people speaking a very similar word as this, and our faith needs to be elevated, and we need to go into action. Pray, get the people together, gather a few folks, share what the Lord's showing you, gather people of the same mindset, gather people that have heard the Lord's voice in the same way, in the same direction, and pray together, put your faith together. And let's see, as Jesus told us, let's see the will of the Father in heaven done on earth. Let's see God's will for America done on earth. Let's see it done. Bless you guys. Peace. Lord help. Signing out at Eagle's Nest.